Good afternoon. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Today is Monday, July 15th, and welcome to our Westchester Weekly Update. Today we're going to cover some of the major issues that are at hand here in Westchester County today. I'll be joined in a few minutes by our Deputy County Executive, Ken Jenkins. And then also on our update, we'll talk about the heat, which everybody's talking about. Our Commissioner of Health, Dr. Charlita Amler, will be here to talk to us a little bit, give us some pointers. She did this just a couple of weeks ago, but we have to be reminded all the time how to stay safe as we're going through a heat wave as we're experiencing now. With our municipal partners this week, we have the mayor of the village of Dobbs Ferry joining us, Vincent Rosillo, and he will talk about some of the things that are happening in Dobbs Ferry. I always point out there's 45 municipalities in Westchester, and we like to give you a slice of one every time that we're here together, so you get a sense not just of the county as a whole, but each of its individual parts. And we're also going to talk a little bit about a program that we have with our Americans with Disability. They're celebrating 30 years anniversary since the adoption of that act, and we now have a dog, Phoenix, who is a certified first responder therapy dog. We'll touch on that today. The most compelling story in the nation right now was the assassination attempt on the life of former President Donald Trump on Saturday. It was a horrific act, and an act that makes all of us concerned about the safety of those of us who step forward and seek to compete for public office at any level that's involved with this. Every person, and certainly people who step forward for public leadership, have the right to be able to express their opinions, whatever the opinions are, in an environment that's violence-free. And to have this type of a shooter manifest himself and try to kill a former president of the United States who was competing for the presidency today is horrific, and everyone condemns what that action was on that day. We also want to grieve the loss of the individual who died. He was shielding his family, as we're told, and there are other individuals who were injured during this. We understand that none of them are in life-threatening circumstances now, but we hope for full recovery for all of them and as well for former President Trump. It's important to understand that we have reached a point in our body politic where our voices and our anger have been given full vent. And it is not a shock to us that individuals may act off of that anger and act off of that climate. And I think it behooves all of us, certainly those of us in public office, but those in the media, to ratchet our voices down. Where we have points of view that are strongly held, we should express them, but we should express them without animosity directed to others. Because when we do that, we create a climate that seems to tacitly accept violence, when in fact we know that this is the fastest way to destroy our democracy, is to have violence take the place of rational dialogue and disagreement, and heated disagreement that doesn't begin to vilify the people that we disagree with. At the end of the day, we're all Americans, and we have to understand that our destinies are bound together with each other, however these issues are resolved. And it's important for us to have that mutual respect across the aisle and in every other way. And then also, if I can be declarative to those people who do what I do for a living, may I also speak out that the media oftentimes amplifies the voices of those who are the most angry and the most radical and who express the most amount of hatred. And that does not help. That sets a fire to situations that are smoldering at the time. We don't know enough about this 20-year-old boy who tried to kill a president. We know he hadn't voted for president yet, but he tried to kill a president. He sacrificed his life in that effort, but he took lives with him. And we will find out in due time about his motives, and there'll be judgments made about him as an individual. But the climate in which a person like that feels that it is appropriate to climb onto a roof and take a high-powered rifle and attempt to kill someone on a public platform has to be analyzed and addressed. There are other side issues that don't belong to the county government's responsibilities, the role of the Secret Service and what size and scope of that force needs to be in place in order to protect against these things, the protocols that existed, and then also how this young man got access to the gun that he had. Did he access it legally? Did he access it directly, or did he take it from another member of the family? All of those things will come out in time, and they do involve public policy outcomes. But for the moment, I think the message is we have to turn away from violent rhetoric, because it is violent rhetoric that oftentimes leads to violent actions. And we're all under the understanding. I've lived through this as a young boy, remembering the assassinations of President Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, Martin Luther King, the attack on Governor George Wallace. All of these things happened in a different era, and we don't want to see that era ever return to the United States of America. Going from the large to the more localized level, again, we always welcome having a local village mayor, city mayor, or town supervisor with us here today. We're joined today by the mayor of the village of Dobbs Ferry. It is one of the river towns, but each one of them is distinct in their own right, and they have their own personalities and their own advantages. So we're very happy to have Mayor Vincent Rosillo join us here. He's been here before to give us sort of an update as to what's new and what's exciting in the village of Dobbs Ferry. Mr. Mayor, thanks for coming.
Thank you, George.
Appreciate it.
I'd like to thank County Executive George Latimer and Deputy County Executive Ken Jenkins for inviting me to provide an update on our community. For those of you who never make it to our side of the county, I just want you to know that we are located on the Hudson River. We have approximately 11,000 residents, and just last year we celebrated our 150th birthday. As you may have already heard, that we were one of the 5 communities that were awarded a downtown improvement grant from Westchester County. The goal of the grant is to support a range of projects aimed at enhancing our downtown area, making it more vibrant and welcoming for both residents and visitors. The projects we chose were based upon the input of over 1,400 respondents to a survey, the local Chamber of Commerce, and experts who were hired to help us with the project. The consensus was that there were basic little improvements that we could undertake that would improve the downtown experience. To that end, we came up with projects that involve the design and installation of new signage and wayfinding systems. These will guide drivers and pedestrians to key areas such as parking lots, businesses, and other landmarks, which will greatly improve the navigation and overall experience of our downtown. And in an era where connectivity is crucial, we are also enhancing our downtown Wi-Fi's capabilities. We will significantly strengthen the Wi-Fi downtown, which will benefit not only the residents, but the businesses, the visitors alike. And reliable internet access is essential for commerce, communication, and even for parking. Some of the funding will also be used to establish a fund specifically for business facade improvements. These funds will provide grants for up to $5,000 per project per building owner, allowing them to refresh and enhance the exteriors of their buildings. This not only boosts the visual appeal of our downtown, but also supports our local businesses in attracting more customers. The visual appeal of downtown everywhere is important, and along those lines, some of the money will be used to standardize and repair the tree wells in the downtown area, and also we will power wash the public spaces downtown to make it more attractive. We believe that this will not only improve the aesthetics of the downtown, but it will ensure the healthy growth of our trees with the improvement of the tree well. So little projects like that go a long way to improving the visual aspects of the downtown and make it more inviting. And we know with our downtown, one of the things that we're known for is our restaurants. So we have a very walkable, very vibrant downtown. We encourage you all to come downtown, eat at, if I name one or two, people might get upset, but the Cookery, Hudson Social, Harper's, Sushi Mike's, I can go on, but we should come on down and visit our restaurants and visit our downtown. In addition to the exciting projects that we have downtown, we're also in the midst of a major renovation of Gould Park, which is located on Ashford Avenue, a major thoroughfare in Dobbs Ferry. A few years ago, we renovated our pool, and we installed what I consider a very modern resort-like pool area and sitting area. And this year, we're upgrading the entire park, and the park, we will enhance the facilities and make it a more enjoyable space. Upgrades will include new staircases and ramps, a new basketball court, LED lighting, and perhaps more importantly, it will fix the crucial water problems that we've been having, the drainage problems. And this will fix the drainage and will cause the drainage to really affected our residents, the neighboring towns, neighboring people who live near the park. So this will address those longstanding drainage issues, and we hope to have these renovations completed within the next few weeks so that everyone can enjoy the amenities and the drainage will stop. We're grateful for the community's patience and support during this time. The improvements represent a significant investment in the future of Dobbs Ferry and will enhance the quality of life of our residents and ensure that our village continues to thrive to years to come. And looking to the future, I also just want everyone to know that Dobbs Ferry was awarded the Climate Smart Silver Certificate, which is a testament to Dobbs Ferry's proactive approach to addressing climate change. This recognition was achieved through a series of initiatives aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions, promoting energy efficiency, and enhancing our community's resilience to climate impacts. It reflects our community's commitment to creating a more sustainable Dobbs Ferry. And of course, none of these projects would be done without the valuable support and dedication of our volunteers. We're lucky to live in a place where people who live there actually want to contribute, spend time and energy helping the village achieve its goals and its vision. And I also like to thank the staff because they take these ideas and make them into a reality. So together, we are taking meaningful steps to build a brighter and more prosperous future for Dobbs Ferry. I urge everyone to visit, to shop, to eat, and visit our very welcoming downtown and our waterfront park. I know George and Ken have both been to Dobbs Ferry many times. We appreciate their support, and thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
That's Mayor Vincent Rosillo of the Village of Dobbs Ferry, and we were there a number of times just in the last few weeks, and we seem to find our way there for one good reason or another. Thank you for your leadership. Also, Sherry Rosen Asher, who is a member of our executive team, a director of policy and program, is in her own right an elected village trustee as well. And Sherry, of course, is focused on Dobbs Ferry and her professional responsibilities as well. So nice to have you both with us here today. The major news about heat and air quality is very much at hand, so I'm going to have Ken Jenkins give us a little lead into this and then bring up our Commissioner of the Department of Health, Dr. Charlita Amler. Ken?
Thanks, George. And it's always fun being in Dobbs Ferry. Since when I was a young tyke, we used to go from our high school up to do retreats in that park, right? And that facility has all kinds of special things for me, so it's always glad to see the improvements, and it's going to be fun to do that in County Executive, and I always enjoy our time in Dobbs Ferry. We won't say the restaurants because we don't want to get in trouble. During this particular time, we know that today, the National Weather Service has issued a heat advisory for Westchester County effective at noon today, July 15th, right through 10 p.m. tomorrow evening, July 16th. During this particular period, heat and humidity are expected to combine to make outdoor temperatures feel close to 100 degrees. With heat and humidity and air quality in mind, the Westchester County Health Department is warning residents that these kinds of conditions can pose serious health risk. Those vulnerable groups include the very young, the elderly, ill, and those folks that have respiratory conditions. Many of us know now from the adventures of last year when we had the Canadian wildfire smoke coming down to Westchester County. We all now can see on our various devices the air quality alerts, and we can look daily to see what those are, to see what kind of things are happening. But when heat and humidity combine like this, it is always an unhealthy combination. As a general rule during the heat, you want to make sure you stay hydrated and drink plenty of water, not a sugary drink, but water is best. If you have to do a sports drink, try to do ones that have as few sugar calories in them as possible. Avoid prolonged periods of time outdoors, and make sure that you check on your neighbors, especially those that are very young or they're elderly, or you know they have specific conditions. With here now to tell you some more on how to protect yourself over the next few days is our Westchester County Health Commissioner, Dr. Charlita Amler. Dr. Amler.
Thank you. So good afternoon, and as we all know, the heat effects can kind of sneak up on us. So it's really important, as you just heard, to drink a lot of water and to not overexert yourself when it's this hot and humid. I also want to remind people to take care of your animals. So if your pets are outdoors, be sure that they have an abundant supply of water and some shade because they need it just like we do. So very young people, seniors, people who are obese, people with high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, or lung conditions are really the most vulnerable to dehydration, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. High humidity and chronic health conditions and some medications can also increase a person's risk for heat stroke. Heat stroke is really the most serious form of a heat-related injury, and it can be a life-threatening condition. In fact, it claims many lives every summer nationwide. So what are the symptoms? It's really different than you would think. So with heat stroke, what you see is instead of people sweating, they're not sweating. Their skin is very dry, so they have hot, dry skin. Usually they feel like their heart is just racing away, and they're frequently very confused. And this is a dangerous situation. So you should call 911 if you suspect that you or someone you care about is suffering from heat stroke, and you want to immediately cool the overheated person while waiting for emergency help to arrive. Another less serious form, but still not to be messed with, heat-related illness is heat exhaustion. And the signs of that is headache, nausea and vomiting, dizziness, exhaustion, as well as, in this case, cool, moist, pale skin. And sometimes they may be a little flushed. Anyone suffering from heat exhaustion should also be moved out of the sun, and you want to apply cool, wet cloths to their skin. Homes without air conditioning can be much hotter even than it is outside. And so if you don't have air conditioning in your home, you might want to try to seek out a cooler place to be, or even one of the cooling centers within the county. And check on any vulnerable friends, family members, or neighbors, as our Deputy County Executive was saying. Very important. A lot of times elderly people do not have the same sense of being overheated as everyone else, and so it's easier for them to be overcome by heat because they just don't feel the effects as well. So to reduce your risks while you're working outdoors, the health department would recommend that you schedule frequent rest breaks during your activities, and also take those breaks if you can in shaded or air-conditioned environments. We always say this, but nevertheless, every year some child is left in a car and dies from overheating. So never ever leave a child or pet or anyone in a car that's not on with the windows rolled up, even for a minute. The internal temperatures in a vehicle in those conditions can quickly rise to more than 100, 140 degrees. And so motorists should always look before they lock their car to make sure they're not leaving a pet or a child in the back seat. Those who plan to travel by car, we would suggest that one, you make sure your car air conditioning is working. That's very important. And two, that you make sure that you're traveling with water, a cell phone charger, because you never know when you might have car trouble. And unfortunately, again, bad things happen every year to people who are stranded in vehicles and they haven't brought water with them. So for other tips on how to prevent heat-related illnesses and places to stay cool, I would refer all residents to check out the Health Department website, www.westchestergov.com/health. I hope everyone is having and enjoying their summer, but let's try to stay healthy while we enjoy this warmer temperature. Thank you.
Yes.
And we always have to get have to make sure I get my script back. Thank you. Dr. Shirley Lamb, giving us very practical advice. Let's do exactly what she said, and that's the best way for us to be safe as we go forward. Just want to remind everybody, once again, this is now 2 weeks into it, but we have free Beeline bus service throughout Westchester County. All of the Beeline bus system routes and the paratransit routes are free fare. You do not need to show identification. You merely need to enter the bus and ride it in air-conditioned pleasure, and have the opportunity to get from your point of origination to your destination. This is the third straight summer that we've made this available. We appreciate the support of all of the contributors of this, Liberty Lines, the TWU Local 100 bus drivers, to make this an important initiative. We know that it's good for the kids who are home from summer vacation. They can get to recreation spots comfortably, and for those who use the bus system on a regular basis, it's a savings. You save that much money for the 2 months that it's underway. The buses will be free for the rest of the month of July. That's another 2+ weeks. All of the month of August, and then Labor Day weekend, which takes you 2 days into September. So up to and including Monday, September 2nd, the bus system is free. And that is a fairly unusual situation. You don't find that in New York City. You don't find that in a number of other locations around the state. If you have any questions about the Beeline bus system, you can call them at 914-813-7777. If you haven't already, you can make sure you can get a Beeline bus map to show all the different routes that exist. Transfers exist from one route to another, so you can travel the county. If you have nothing to do, pack a lunch, get on the bus, it's free. Go to the other end of the county, come back, and have yourself a good day. But we want to remind you of that. We'll probably remind you of that every single one of these programs up until the last one in August. Ken next will talk about the Americans with Disabilities Act and how we reach a very important milestone this day.
All right, thanks, George. The anniversary for the Americans with Disabilities Act reception is going to occur here. So we'd like to have everyone join County Executive Latimer and the Westchester County Board of Legislators. We're inviting you all to join with us in celebrating the anniversary with the Americans with Disabilities Act. That's going to be on Thursday, July 25th at 2 p.m. Certainly, you should RSVP. The email address is on the screen, of course, but communications with an S at westchestercountyny.gov. So communications at westchestercountyny.gov by next Monday, July 22nd. And certainly it's going to be an event to be able to recognize and celebrate the American with Disabilities Act reception. That's again on July 25th. Back to you, George.
Want to make sure that we highlight something that we're very proud of, and this is work that's been done through our Westchester County Department of Emergency Services, and also with the great assistance of our Department of Public Protection, Public Safety Department. There is, and you'll see the pictures on the screen, Phoenix, a 4-year-old lab mix, is assigned to the Westchester County Department of Emergency Services, recently achieved the prestigious designation as a Certified First Responders Therapy Dog. Now, Phoenix joined us in August of 2022. She has been a resource to support the emotional health and the wellness of all first responders in Westchester County. Westchester County made the decision to obtain a therapy dog in recognition of the stresses and the emotional challenges that our first responders often face on the jobs. Our police officers, firefighters, EMS personnel, and dispatchers often handle highly stressful incidents in the course of their duties. In addition to their training, it is equally imperative that we support their physical and emotional health however we can. So we want to congratulate Phoenix, his handler Samantha Stretz-Fages, on this tremendous accomplishment. Phoenix, you're doing a great job. We're very happy for you, and we're happy for Westchester County. Ken gets to tell us about where we are on parks this week. Always a busy time of the year.
And yes, it is. And for those folks that participated over the weekend, we continue to remind folks that are participating in our Heritage Days, or whether or not they're walking around the great trails of the nationally accredited, award-winning, just recertified park system with over 55 different facilities around Westchester County, over 18,000 acres. You want to make sure to hydrate and take care of yourselves and watch out for others while you're doing that. So Tuesday the 16th, we're continuing the Park and Read summer version of the program, and I'm just going to go through the different places that we have that. But Tuesday the 16th, tomorrow, from 11 to 11:45, Park and Read, Rose Finizio and her team have made sure to have children ages 3 to 6 discovering the joy of reading in picturesque Lenoir Preserve. That's with the captivating Read Aloud program at the Fire Circle, and that happens basically every Tuesday, which is the 16th, July 23rd, July 30th, August 6th, and 13th. You can get all these details on all the parks that I'm going to go through, but make sure you remember that it's not a drop-off. You need to have a parent or a guardian with our young person from ages 3 to 6. And again, you never know who's going to be a guest reader that comes through to share their reading skills with our young folks. On the 17th, we're going to continue in Saxon Woods Park, and that's going to be in the grassy area adjacent to the playground, inside the pavilion if there's inclement weather, and that's going to happen every Wednesday, so July 24th, 31st, August 7th, and 14th, and once again, that's 11 to 11:45 for the Park and Read program at Saxon Woods Park. That's in Wednesdays. On Fridays and Tuesdays, we have our Mall Walk continuing. That's at the Westchester and White Plains. So when the weather is like this, when it was 85 degrees before 7 o'clock in the morning today, or feels like that, you get a chance to be from 8 to 10 a.m. inside the air-conditioned Westchester Mall here in White Plains. So again, Tuesdays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. You'll be able to go at your own pace or get motivated by joining or an inspiring group of people who've grown this program into a small community, and it is intense. So we have gone out to see those folks doing their walk, the Mall Walk in the Westchester, 8 to 10 a.m. every Tuesday through Friday. On Sunday, we have Bicycle Sundays, and because County Executive's leadership, that we've been able to extend Bicycle Sundays from when it traditionally ended at June to go into July. And the difference now is that it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, so it goes from 8 to 12 on the lovely Bronx River Parkway. So the parkway is closed for cars and exclusive use of non-motorized bicycles and scooters, as well as inline skaters, walkers, and joggers. Again, that's 8 to 12 because of the weather, and that goes right through July. It stops in August, picks back up in September after the holiday weekend. And again, that's the Bronx River Parkway Bicycle Sundays, our Parks, Westchester Parks Foundation, and certainly the sponsors that include Con Edison, Robeson, and our bicycle partner, and George will remind me of who that was in a second, but I think it's Joyce's Cycles. That's the bicycle partner. But again, that goes right through the end of July, 8 to 12. This Sunday, two of our favorite festivals are back for Heritage Day at Kensico Dam Plaza, our Italian Heritage Festival, which is Sunday, July 21st from 12 to 6 p.m. at Kensico Dam Plaza. You know, admission and parking are free for that particular festival. Again, that's at Kensico Dam Plaza, our Italian Heritage Festival, where we all are Italian, at least on that day. And our Arab Heritage Festival will be also happening this Sunday. That's at Ridge Road Park in Hartsdale. And again, parking and admission are free. Make sure you continue to take the advice of Dr. Ambler that if you go into any of these events for Heritage Day, make sure to hydrate. It's very difficult to eat all that good Italian food and not hydrate, so make sure you do that. And our Arab Heritage Festival at Ridge Road Park has a similar kind of thing. Their food might be a little more spicy, so you definitely want to have that water with you when you're working through that. So with that, we'll turn it back to you, George.
Thank you very much, Ken. We're in the heart of the summertime, and aside from the appropriate advice to stay cool as best as you can and stay well hydrated, there's lots of summer concerts all over Westchester County. They're not sponsored by the county government. We have a couple that we announce, but on Monday nights, there's a number of communities that also offer this. Check out your local village website, find out which communities, the one that you live in, which night of the week they have a concert, and you can go to other ones around the county. It's a great way to enjoy music in the outdoor setting. Tonight on Monday night, there's a 7 o'clock concert at Memorial Park in the town of Mamaroneck, right on Murder Boulevard. In Pelham at the Pelham Gazebo Park, they have one at 7:30. They're all over the county. So go in, take a look, go through your calendar. If you're not doing anything, enjoy some music in the park. I'm George Latimer, Westchester County Executive. Thank you for watching. Stay cool, and we'll see you soon.